Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Maria and I just started my YouTube channel, so I would love it if you could go subscribe down below and really get my channel up and running. I'm so excited to share content with you guys, and today we're talking all things Toy Story 10 Miler. So the Toy Story 10 Miler was back for the springtime surprise weekend back in mid-April, so it was hot, but coming from New England, I honestly didn't mind the heat. I think I kind of prefer running in warmer weather than when it's like really cold outside. But it was a really great weekend, really enjoyed myself, and so we're just gonna kind of talk through the weekend, recap, kind of review what happened, and give you guys some tips if you're thinking about doing a runDisney race or you've already done one and kind of want more information. So stick around. We'll start with the expo. So I am a member of Club runDisney, however, I came on the first day of the expo, but kind of mid-morning because I flew in that morning, so I wasn't there for the early shopping or early bib pickup or anything like that. So when I arrived, I did go up to the Platinum Lounge, and that's where I picked up my bag with my bib and one shirt because I was just doing one race versus a challenge. And then after that, I headed over with my parents to pick up their bibs. They were doing the 10 miler as well, so their bib pickup was in the building that's just for the bib pickup. And then after that, we went into the general expo, just kind of walked around, saw the vendors, of course bought things because it's just the energy there is so high and it's hard not to buy something. I mean, the vendors are trying to sell you their products, and you know, everyone's just so excited for the weekend. So I bought my goose for the race, a honey stinger or two, and just kind of poked around there. And then after that, I did join the virtual queue when we landed at MCO. We landed around 8. So by like 8:30, that was when you could join the queue. So I made sure that I had my party selected previously before 8:30. You can do that a little bit before that time to join the virtual queue. So myself and my parents were in that party. And then at 8:30, I just kind of kept, or 8:29, I just kept refreshing, and finally at 8:30, clicked continue and I got in. So my group, I would say we could go in, it was maybe like 11:30, 12:30 was my return window. So by the time we landed at MCO, checked in, we went right to the expo. We got to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, checked in, put our bags with Bell Services, pretty much right from there, just changed into shorts because it was hot, and then went right to the expo. So went in those few buildings, and then it was the return time for the merchandise. I didn't buy any merchandise for this weekend. This was kind of a bonus weekend, so the priority was just kind of enjoying the race itself and not going crazy with merchandise like I did for Marathon Weekend, even though it's really hard not to. When you get in there, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna buy anything, and then you get in there and you see everything, like, I need everything, but like, self-control, didn't need it. I wanted it, but didn't need it. So just kind of walked through, saw the merchandise, saw what there was, but again, just kind of walked in, walked out, didn't buy anything. And so after that, just kind of went back to the resort, freshened up. Our room was ready, which was amazing that it was ready early. And then went to Animal Kingdom for the rest of the day. So just kind of relaxed at the room, went to the park, came back early because we got up at like 2 for our flight. So just kind of enjoyed the day, and then, you know, vacationed for that Friday, Saturday, and then it was race morning. So race morning came, and I don't know how I do it, but I get up at like in the 1 o'clock hour, which is crazy. I mean, I struggle sometimes to get up at like 6, which is still early, but compared to that, it's like crazy. So I got up at like 1:15. I get up pretty easily, which I think is just all adrenaline and excitement because you're running at Disney. If I was doing anything else, maybe a flight to Disney, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't wake up that early. But got up around 1:15. Checked my phone for a minute, let my eyes like open and wake up. And then I start getting ready pretty much right away. You know, put my hair in a ponytail, get changed. I lay out my outfit the night before, along with my running pouch, anything I'm putting in the pouch. I lay out any food I'm gonna eat in the morning. Just anything that makes the morning up easier, highly recommend, because when you get up at 1:15, you might think you're kind of awake or you think you know what you need, but sometimes at that last minute you do forget something if you don't kind of lay it out the night before. Sometimes I do make a list and I, you know, check it a few times the day before to make sure I do have everything, because it is critical to have what you need when you are racing like that, especially longer distances. So after I get changed, Then I do have typically some water, some Powerade, not a whole one because I try to be pretty hydrated going into that morning, and I don't want to have to go to the bathroom a lot either. So I do have some water, some Powerade, typically a banana in the room, and then, you know, I'll have some more food later on when I get to the race, but I'll detail that in a little bit. And then once I have that, I do a little bit of dynamic warm-ups in the room just to kind of get the blood flowing, wake up. The last thing I do is put my contacts in because my eyes are not feeling it at like 2 in the morning. So after that, I do try to be on the first bus. For the 10 miler, 5K and 10Ks, the first bus is at 3. For the half marathon, full marathon, it's at 2:30. Because I didn't do the challenge, I didn't quite know what time the buses would show up. Marathon weekend, they were showing up before they were technically supposed to be there. So I always try to be on the first bus. I did see for the springtime surprise weekend that buses for the 5K and 10K were showing up around 2:30. So I did try to be down at the bus stop a little bit before 2:30. I know that's early and some people do like to, you know, not be on that first one and they're okay with being a little bit later. I just like to be there early, enjoy the atmosphere. I'm up at 1:15. What's the difference of 1:15 maybe versus 1:30, 1:45 too? At that point, it's all early. So I figured might as well maximize my time kind of in the starting area. So I was all ready for say like 2:15, then headed down to the bus stop to be there for like 2:20. There were other people down there. So I was not the first one. There was actually like a handful of people and more came after me. So people definitely catch on to coming early and being on that first bus. You also don't want to risk if the bus driver doesn't quite know where they're going, because these are contract drivers. They're not super comfortable or familiar with Disney World, especially when it's dark and early. So you really want to make sure you give yourself enough time to get there if you're taking Disney transportation, because the last thing you want is to miss the start, or even just miss when they close the corrals and you have to be in the last corral because the earlier ones are closed off already. So it's for your best interest. Just get up a little bit earlier, try to get on an earlier bus, and your future self will thank you when it's just more seamless and easy process. So I was on that first bus. Again, it was not empty. The bus driver left within 5-7 minutes of when I got on the bus. So we were off and running by, well, not running, off and driving at like 2:35, 2:40, which was amazing because then it was about a 15-20 minute bus ride from the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Got to Epcot around 3, which is great. One thing is though, weather. So the forecast wasn't showing any rain. Unfortunately, when we started driving, all of a sudden it started downpouring. And everybody on the bus was like, well, this wasn't in the forecast, which it really wasn't. So that was a little bit nerve-wracking, but it did lighten up. Didn't rain throughout the race, so that was good. But check the weather, because Florida weather changes a lot. It can be cold, hot, rainy, windy, literally anything besides snow. Florida's probably gonna be it at some point. So just make sure you check the weather and come prepared with a poncho to put on, Mylar to sit on in the corrals. Anything that you might need, bring it. You can always toss it before you start running. So the buses drop off in the Epcot parking lot. So we got there around 3. Security wasn't quite open yet, so then we might have therefore maybe gotten there a little before 3, or security opened at 3:30. I don't quite remember, but we got there, got in line for security. Security, they keep you moving through. It's that the last real bathroom is like right after security in the entrance to Epcot, kind of like by where the ticket gates are. So if you want a real bathroom, use that. If not, plenty of porta potties when you get kind of past that area. It's always fun to, you know, walk to that starting area because you do pass the finish line. So it's a little bit of motivation to, you know, get excited and see kind of that final stretch that you're going to come into later on that morning. They're playing music and everybody's just so excited. You know, you're just following the herd, but you can just feel that excitement in the air. Everybody's ready to run and just have a great race. So just get excited and just be proud that you're there. There's a lot of people who A, don't run at all, B, don't run at Disney, and C, would not get up that early to run. You know, they wouldn't even think of that. Never mind getting up at like 5 or 6 to go for a morning jog. They wouldn't get up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning to run. So just be proud that you're there and of what you're going to accomplish. So in the starting area, they have characters that you can wait in line to take pictures with. If you get there earlier, those lines are going to be shorter. The later you get there, the longer the lines get, and they can be at like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I got there, like I said, pretty early. I met up with some runDisney friends and we waited in line for Woody and Buzz. It took about 30 minutes. So I like to be in the front of my corral, so I like to not linger around there too much. It's fun, there's a DJ, plenty of people stretching, snacking, hanging out, but you want to try to make your way to the kind of waiting area before the corrals if you want to be in the front of your corral. Because people do line up, because other people also want to be in the front of their corral. The earlier you start, the more time you have. So, and it's just fun to be kind of in that first wave of your corral to be sent off on the course. So, hung around in the starting area for a little bit. After that picture, kind of moseyed over to wait for the corrals to open at 3:45. They do pretty much open on time. I wouldn't say they really let you in that much earlier before that. So you can line up early, but I wouldn't go there right away unless you really, really want to be in the front of yours, because it is fun to enjoy that kind of starting area atmosphere. For other characters, they had Wally, I think Mater, like I said, Woody and Buzz, maybe one other character from Monsters, Inc. But yeah, it's a great atmosphere. DJ plays great music, so just like enjoy yourself and just really take in the atmosphere and all that hype before you head to the corrals. So after hanging out in that kind of starting area before the corrals, I did go to line up for the corrals, maybe at like 3:25, 3:30, 3:40. And then pretty soon after that, they did let us into the corrals. It's kind of a mad rush. Some people like really want to be in the front of their corrals, which I get, but like I want to be in the front, but I don't need to like push and shove to get there. So just kind of be patient. We're all going the same place. Just try to be calm. It's early in the morning. Just kind of go with the flow a little bit with that. And then when you get in the corrals, you're kind of just waiting around. I mean, the race starts at 5. So you're going to be in the corrals for like at least an hour, depending on which corral you're in. So definitely kind of bring things you need. If you're with people, that's great, because, then you can wait. They can go to the bathroom, hold your spot and whatnot. But if you're by yourself, do try to make corral friends. Luckily, I kind of met some people through a Facebook group that we were able to kind of make our own little Run Disney group, but we also talked to people in the corrals, and like we offered, hey, if you need to go to the bathroom, we can watch your stuff, watch your spot while you go. I mean, people are really nice. I feel like the Disney community is special, especially Run Disney. We're all bonding around our love for running combined with Disney. So just try to, make friends, be nice, because people do want to have a good time and make it a good experience. So just try to be helpful with that. So I would say in the corrals, I try not to drink a lot of water because I don't want to have to go to the bathroom. It is porta potties, which I don't love, but like you kind of have to deal with it because that's really all you got at that point. I do bring a honey stinger, and I bring a thing of honey stinger chews. So typically I have the honey stinger, around maybe like 4:30, like half hour before the race starts. The chews are kind of there as emergency in case I feel like I need a little extra fuel before it starts. I do bring a little water just in case I need to have a few sips just to feel a little bit more hydrated. And I did forget to mention, I do eat a bagel with peanut butter at about like 3:30, 3:45. Anytime between 3 and 4, depending on like how hungry I'm feeling when. In this case, because it started pouring on the bus, I was freaking out that my phone was going to get wet, in my pouch, because it's not waterproof at all. So I ate the bagel and used that bag for it, but then the rain calmed down, it was fine. So in that case, I ate it a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but typically around 3:30, I have the bagel with peanut butter that I make in the hotel room. So waiting in the corrals, I just kind of hung out. I did go to the bathroom before I got in the corral. So that put me a little bit farther back than I normally am. Normally I'm in the first wave. This time I was in that second wave, and I was in corral B. But I wanted to just kind of get the bathroom run out of the way, and then just kind of sit and wait. But they do play music. Carissa Galloway and the announcers will come on, and they talk and get you excited for the race. So there are things to kind of look forward to, while you're sitting in the corral, and the time goes by because it's roughly an hour till the race starts. And once the race starts, corrals start moving. You probably would start moving soon, and people are getting set off onto the race course. So time goes by faster than you probably think it does. And, you're getting pumped and ready to go. You got your watch ready, and so you're getting excited. So like I said, I was in corral B. I was in the second wave of B. So I would say a little before the start of the race, corral B started to move up and kind of line up behind A. And then as A went off, we kept moving forward. So I was in the second wave. I went off around 5:10. Normally when I'm in wave, in the first wave of B, which I was for marathon weekend, I went off around 5:04, 5:05. So that's kind of roughly the split. There are multiple waves in each corral. They have a little banner that they separate you each from, and that drops, you know, as they let you go. So it's kind of luck of the draw of where you are in the corral, where they're going to put that banner. I mean, you know if you're in the front or not, but besides that, it's kind of hard to gauge exactly how many they're gonna put in there. I don't know if there's an exact number of how many times they break up each corral. That information might be out there. Then the race starts, which was crazy. I was really excited. It was humid and hot, but the race does start when it's dark out, which helps a lot. I did a race last weekend that started at 8, and it was like 75, 80 degrees outside, and the sun was up. It felt worse than it almost did for this race, which is crazy that it was Florida, April, 80, humid, but when the sun's up, it makes a big difference. So the race started. It's a little congested at first because everybody's trying to, you know, find their pace, you know, kind of just get in the zone of, you know, everyone's in that corral really tight and then kind of dispersing, you know, as the race goes on. But I'd say about, before we got to the half-mile mark, we were pretty much spread out, and I felt like I could keep my good pace without having to, like, you know, go around people, or, you know, I could just kind of stay to the left and start cruising. And that was fine. So along the course, I did stop for a lot of characters. I would say I stopped for maybe like 5 or 6. I remember Flick, Princess Ada, Chip and Dale, Goofy, Mike Wazowski, Bo Peep. I think that was all the ones I stopped for. There were more than that. I don't stop for every character necessarily, only if I like kind of like that character. You know, there were some rare characters though from Onward. That was pretty cool. I didn't stop. The line was longer, and sometimes I'm kind of just in the groove running and I want to just keep going, but there were cool characters. I would say if you're, you know, at a good pace and you think you can stop in terms of timing, I would. It's really fun. When I did Princess Half Marathon Weekend way back when in 2015, 2016, I never really stopped, but I've learned now to really enjoy, you know, the runDisney experience, and that includes taking character pictures. I know based off timing, you know, what corral you're in, it's not ideal every time to stop for characters, and it could be tight for time, which I totally get. But if you are able to stop, I would suggest it. Everyone says Disney races are not for PRs, and I find that sometimes even when I do stop, I can still hit a PR, just depending on the day and the length of the line of the character. You know, you never know what's gonna happen, so just enjoy that Disney experience, because no other race has characters along the route that you can take pictures with. So this race, I felt like it definitely had a lot of water stops. I don't carry a handheld water bottle with me, but I feel like I might start doing it for like the longer races and when it's the hotter ones as well. But Disney does a great job of having water and Powerade at all those hydration stops. And they also had sport beans, I think at mile 6.5. I carry my own fuel. I had 2 goos, one at mile like 3.5, one at mile like 6.5. So I carry my own stuff like that, but the sport beans are great if you like them and you don't want to carry them. You can just kind of grab them from there. The course was amazing. I really enjoyed this course. I've never done a 10-miler, never done the Disney 10-miler, but it was really awesome. The first half, very park focused. Epcot, boardwalk, right into Hollywood Studios. You ran the whole Hollywood Studios loop. You came in, you went left kind of by 50s prime time around the lake with Gertie. You went down and back through Galaxy's Edge, around through Toy Story Land. You came up through kind of where the Little Mermaid show used to be. Then you went back down the main road. Then you went left onto Sunset Boulevard. You ran to see the Tower of Terror at the end, which was pretty cool. And then you kind of went out and back and then on some highway for a little bit. But it wasn't too much highway. For me, it was still dark, which was great. It was very humid, but I think everybody was just kind of embracing the heat, and like, you just kind of have to deal with it. I try to remember I'm running in Disney World. If it's gonna be hot, I'd rather be running there than literally anywhere else. So, and at that point I was, getting into some of the miles, and I was thinking, okay, we're almost done. We can do this. So course was great. And then, then we get to the finish area, and the finish line, kind of that final stretch, is the best feeling. I mean, like, you are, you hear the announcers, you hear the music playing, and you just know you're gonna make it. And then you start to see all the people cheering for you, and it's just the best feeling. Something kicks into your body that like didn't kick in at a lot of other points along the race, but you just feel like you can just fly to the finish, and it's amazing. Crossing that finish line, you get that medal. It's just a really good feeling, and it's fun to see all the people cheering. I mean, like, it's just really cool. So you get through the finish line, they hand you your medal. It does come in the bags now, but I see a lot of people just take them out of the bags because you want to wear it, you want to be proud of it, and it's one less thing to carry because they give you so much stuff and you're like trying to balance all these things and your legs are tired at the same time. So it's like, it's a lot of work if you just ran 10 miles. So you get the medal, put it around your neck. They did have cooling towels, which is nice. They don't do that for every race, but it was hot. So I think that was like definitely a good move to have the cooling towels. After that, you get your water and choice of Powerade. I prefer blue Powerade, and I feel like runDisney races have really hooked me on blue Powerade. Like, that's just like all I crave sometimes when I run is blue Powerade. Like, not Gatorade, Powerade. Like, blue Powerade is superior. But I do love the other flavors too. And then after that, you get your snack box and banana box. It's fine. They have, you know, pretzels, that standard cheese that everybody talks about. It had a thing of sunflower seeds and a honey stinger waffle. I do like when they have the animal crackers, but they didn't have that this time. The banana's great, and they have all, you know, the buckets you can toss your banana peel in when you're done. I mean, I ate that pretty much like right away because I'm not like super hungry, but I think I need like a little something in my system. So I had the banana, lots of Powerade because it was hot. And then at the gear check, I don't check anything, but the lady was nice enough to give myself and the people I was running with a gear check bag to put all our stuff in, which was great because like you're trying to balance it all, I'm trying to eat a banana, drink, like it's a lot going on. So that was very helpful and much appreciated. Then after that, they have, you know, little like posters up and backgrounds where you can take pictures with. They did have the letters that are at the expo, like the giant 10, the giant, you know, 19.3 for the challenge. They had those set up there too. And the golden 50th Mickey, which like, it's technically not the 50th anymore, but they still had it. So if you missed your picture, that was kind of the opportunity to get it. I don't know if they'll have it for Wine and Dine in the fall. We'll see, but that was a nice photo op. That was unexpected. Speaking of 50th, I'm using this 50th cup that I got during marathon weekend. So I do like that I have something that says the 50th because it's not gonna happen again, So, and then after I took a couple pictures, then I did watch the race for a little bit. It's very inspirational. Like, it's just so cool to see people, you know, be so proud that they're so close to that finish line and they know they're gonna make it. And like to see everybody cheering, family, friends, it's just amazing. And it felt good to cheer on other people too. So I definitely recommend if you have the time, you know, after you finish, get organized, hydrate, have a little snack, and just head over and just watch some people finish, cheer, clap, even just watch. It's nice to have people there cheering you on. So I think people who are finishing appreciate it. And I know from the spectator point of view, you know, when you finish there, it is inspiring and it is cool to see, you know, these waves of people just coming in and know that they're gonna get their medal and, you know, finish the race. So, and then after that, I did that for maybe like half an hour. And then I headed to get back on the bus to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I'd say I waited maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It really wasn't bad at all. They do have the buses continuously coming because they know there's thousands of runners that need to get back to the Disney resort. So they're pretty good about, you know, loading it up and going. I maybe sat on the bus for like 5 to 10 minutes before it got moving. So, and then back at the lodge, I had breakfast. Mickey waffles really hit the spot because I was at that point pretty hungry. More Powerade, Mickey waffles, and then showered, stretched, and took a little nap, and then headed to Magic Kingdom for the day and wore the medal. Definitely make sure you wear your medal and take pictures with the two in the parks. It's really cool to, you know, wear it walking around and people congratulate you and they'll be like, oh, that looks like fun. Maybe I should do a runDisney race. So be proud of it. I do see a lot of people wearing the shirts, the medals, you know, taking pictures. There was a lot of people also taking pictures of their perfect season. So that was pretty cool. That could be something that's on my bucket list for sure, is that perfect runDisney season. But speaking of future plans, my next race weekend is Marathon Weekend in January of 2024, which is crazy. I will be doing the Dopey Challenge for the second time, which is also crazy to say that I've already done it once, and this will be my second time. But I'm excited for that. My goals is just to, again, have a great time, just enjoy the experience. And now I kind of know the system of how the Dopey Challenge works. I know what worked, what didn't work for me in terms of recovery, you know, hydration, fueling, all that stuff, time in the parks, how much time on my feet, you know, all those things. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I will definitely be vlogging that whole experience, the preparation. I'll be doing some training vlogs throughout the summer, fall, winter, leading up to that. It's definitely a large task, and I think that documenting it will also help keep me accountable. And, you know, it'll be fun to look back and see what I learned and just how the process went for me a second time around, kind of knowing, kind of how it goes. So stay tuned for that. I'm also doing a lot of local races, just to kind of see what I can do in that race environment versus just kind of going on those training runs, and just seeing where I'm at in terms of pace and timing. So, those are things that I'll be doing between now and Dopey. Definitely some half marathons, 10Ks and 5Ks. I'm not sure about a full marathon before Dopey. I think I need to get, another marathon or two under my belt, and I'm not sure timing wise before Dopey if I, when I would want to do the marathon. So for now, it's just kind of focus on the Dopey training and keeping up the base with those half marathon races every now and then. But yeah, so stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for some training videos coming your way. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you can, please like this video and, comment, have you done a runDisney race? Which one? What has been your favorite one? And if you have any future plans for a runDisney race, I'd love to hear it. Yeah, and please subscribe. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.